Am I allowed to take it off and start again? That is very, very yellow. Ooh. Oh, that was satisfying. I look like I've been slapped with a nappy. I have a lot of new products to try today. It's very, very hot in this beauty room. I have definitely picked shades that are not for me regarding foundation, concealer and bronzer, so this could be an exciting video. Now I don't have a new primer, so I am just going to go in with my Hydro Bubble primer from Makeup Revolution, and the first thing that we're going to be applying is the new foundation that I spotted from Physicians Formula. Like, it was new on Beauty Bay, I'm not sure how long it's actually been out. So this is the Diamond Perfector Mineral Wear BB Cream from Physicians Formula, and I've got it in the shade Fair to Light, which I'm hoping will be okay for my skin tone. They are a bit more forgiving when they're a BB cream. So this is £16.25 on Beauty Bay, and it says a complexion enhancing beauty balm designed to leave all skin tones looking radiantly glowing. I don't know how I feel about that because I usually like quite a matte look, but I can always go in and use some powder. This innovative 10-in-1 Skin Perfector keeps hydration, primes and provides lightweight coverage while diffusing the look of pores and imperfections. Skin looks and feels smooth, glowing and naturally flawless. I could be about that. Give it a little shake, put some on my little palette that I've got here. Oh, I may have squirted out quite a lot of that. I quite like the packaging of this. It looks really nice, especially with the sort of diamondy lid. That's cute. So I'm gonna go in with a brush first and see how that is gonna go on. And okay, that is light and it's gonna be very light coverage, I'm feeling, but we can build it up. Does that smell? I'm not sure if it's the Isoclean that I use to clean my brushes or whether it's the actual BB cream that smells. Oh. But hopefully it'll be a little bit more coverage with a brush. Okay, it's giving me something. It's definitely giving me something. I don't think it's going to match the concealer I've got, I'm not going to lie. And for the type of coverage I like, I'm having to use quite a lot of this product. Maybe this is more for that clean girl aesthetic and people that like the no makeup look. Yeah, that's not me. Will this be more lightweight for summer? Because like I say, it's super hot in this room right now. I don't know how I'm managing to sit in here while trying to put on makeup. It's like a sauna. Because I can't have the window open because you will hear outside noise. I mean, it feels lightweight and that's probably because it is. It's definitely got a lot of sheen in this. I feel like I'm kind of resembling the vampires on Twilight with my skin. Yeah, you can even see that in the viewfinder. And I'm also looking a little bit crazy because I already do have my brows on, which they do look quite bold until I've got the rest of my makeup on. But I'm going to have to powder this down because that is not the type of finish I like. But if you like a really glowy, intense, luminous skin, not sure how I'm liking that. Let me just go in with a sponge. I don't really like how that's going on, especially my nose and just generally on my skin. Maybe it'll settle down, but first application I'm not the biggest fan. It's very glowy, not as much coverage as I personally prefer, and it is a little bit caking in areas. Yeah, even on my chin it's... Maybe it doesn't like the primer, but that is not looking good. That is not looking how I expected it to look. It's kind of like balling up and pilling a little. So yeah, I think the next time I'm just going to have to use that without a primer and see if that was the issue. And it's definitely not giving me coverage, is it? What a start. Like, have you seen how it looks on my nose and on my forehead? I am not a fan of that, guys. Am I allowed to take it off and start again? And it is literally clinging on to every dry patch that I have got. I don't think I'll be using that again. Look, I'm gonna commit a makeup sin right now and I'm going to use a wipe. I never use a wipe, but I just need this off my face because I've never had to do this when I've been trying a foundation before. I never even did this with the Zara foundation, and I did not like that foundation. That sits awfully on the skin. Like I say, I'm not sure if it was the primer, but to be honest guys, like I don't think I'm going to ever reach for that again to even test it, because the way that that just went on was like the worst I've seen. Like, please let me know, have you got this? Do you like it? Like, have we got totally different skin types, textures? Like, I am dry skinned, and that was definitely clinging on patches of dry skin and not actually sticking to patches that weren't dry. That was not the best start, but we're all good. I'm going to go in instead with just some Revolution Skin Silk Luminous Serum Foundation in F2, because as much as this is luminous, it doesn't do that. Okay, that is much, much better. I feel a lot better about that. We're going to go in now with a new concealer that I've picked up. It's not brand new out, I don't think, but it's very new to me. I've never tried H&B Cosmetics before, and I've got the concealer, the Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer in the shade SF1W. Now, when swatching this, I realised it's probably not going to be my shade whatsoever, which is interesting. Obviously, I can't pick my own concealer shades. I struggle with this. This is a real problem. Is this just me? I have got my powder ready. It's just one of my favourites to use. It's the Attitude Cosmetics Organza powder, and I did get this one in PR, and I'm just going to stick that on more or less straight away after I put the concealer on, otherwise it's probably going to crease because most do. And that is more to do with my creasy under eyes than the actual concealers, but that is very, very yellow. Very yellow. And a little dark. I think I should have gone a little bit lighter and a little bit less warm. Why am I putting more on? That's not going to help, is it? Like, and I am aware I'm still looking very, very shiny, but this is a thick concealer, okay. I can't remember how much this one is because I actually picked it up in store in Boots, but I will have everything I'm using linked down below in the description box. Yeah, this was not the shade for me. I tried to shade match myself like online. I looked at the pictures before I went into Boots, and I felt like this was going to be the one for me. It's definitely not the one for me. I now have banana under eyes to a colossal level. Having said that though, the coverage is high and it is more of a thicker consistency, which I don't usually love under my eyes, but that's not actually looking too bad apart from the fact it's definitely not my shade. I am just going to set it with that powder just because it will 1,000,000% crease otherwise. As far as concealers go, that's not bad. First impressions of applying that one, definitely better than that BB cream. Okay, I do want to powder the rest of my face, but from Profusion I did pick up some things from the Ninja Turtles collection. Look, what can I say? I'm a sucker for a collab, and they did have these 3 jelly pots. You sort of buy them all together in a 3, which is a bit weird. I would have kind of liked to buy just 1 or 2. I don't really think I'm going to have that much need for the purple one, but we also have a nice sort of orangey rose gold shade and a very nice green. And I was thinking maybe I could try and use this orange ooze for blush. I don't really want to put it on top of powder. I don't know if I want to put powder on top of it. I don't know about the formula, so... Ooh. Oh, that was satisfying. I don't really know how to apply this formula, so do I just pick some up on a brush and hope for the best? It is a little bit jelly-like. Okay. Oh, it feels very, very wet. I mean, I know it's ooze. Is that doing anything whatsoever? There's not that much pigment to it, but there's quite a bit of shine. I don't know if that brush is helping me. Let me just tap it in and see if that helps. I'd say that's more of a highlighter or a blush topper rather than a blush. I didn't know how pigmented it was gonna be, and yeah, it's got a nice sheen. Pretty, but yeah, blush topper I think. Oh, feeling much better now. I have set my face and I'm not as shiny. I do prefer to be a little bit more on the matte side. Okay, this new NYX bronzer was $9.99. It's the Buttermelt bronzer. I was hoping that I was going to be able to get one of the blushes as well, but unfortunately I can't get hold of them. I can't see them for sale anywhere in the UK, which is disappointing, but we're going to try the bronzer. I think I've bought the wrong shade. I think this is too dark for me. This is in Deserve Butter. It was sold out on Beauty Bay, so where did I end up buying it from? I think it was Look Fantastic in this shade. Oh, it smells nice. It smells a little bit coconutty, and I love a coconut scent. I think that's probably going to be a bit too dark for me for the foundation that I'm wearing now, but if I had my fake tan on and a darker foundation, so we're just going to have to imagine. So because it's probably going to be a little bit too dark for me, I'm going to use a Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush just to apply this because it's a little bit more forgiving and not as dense. Oh, that smells really good. That's making me want a pina colada. You know what I said about not dense? Guys, I look like I've been slapped with a nappy. This is not my summer shade. Look, today isn't working out the best so far, is it? Like, I have high hopes for the things to come. Let me just go and sort this mess out and I'll be back. It's still not 100% sorted, but you know, I've tried my best. I prefer a bronzer that's not as pigmented straight out the gate, something that's a little bit more buildable, easier to work with, and I definitely recommend buying it in your correct shade. I don't know if I'd repurchase in a lighter shade just because that was super pigmented, and like I say, I prefer a buildable formula rather than something so intense, but it smells lovely. Then I think for blush, I'm going to go in with my Plouise face palette. This is in the shades Believe, and it's a Dream a Little Dream palette. And it's got one highlighter, one sort of glowy blush topper, a light blush. I've just put that brush in my mouth, and a bronzer. And I'm just going to use a little bit of the matte blush, just a touch, because I know it's reliable and I'm gonna like it. I might use a little bit of the shimmery blush as well. Okay, then I'm excited for the next product. I'm feeling like I'm really gonna like this one. This is Carmesy? I want to say Carmesy, and it is a high pigmented illuminator in 615. I will link it down below. I got this one on Amazon and this was $9.99, and it looks like it's gonna be amazing. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it does have sort of two shades in it, but I'm just going to kind of swirl my brush through the both of them because there's a more greeny, violety side and then a more sort of icy violety side, but we want a bit of everything. Is it going to go with what I've already got on? Probably not, but oh, I can see the green definitely coming out in that. Okay. It's extremely intense. There is a little bit of sparkle to it, not like huge glitter particles, but it's definitely an intense, beamy, little bit sparkly highlighter. They did have other shades as well if this specific shade isn't your cup of tea, but I quite like that formula. It does emphasise texture because of how blinding that is, but it looks so nice and so sparkly. Like I say, not massive glitter particles or anything, just intense sparkle. I need to stop putting more on, really. Okay, I am a fan of the highlighter. That was good. Then I did pick up a new eye base, and I actually went for a white one because I don't really have white eye bases, and I thought it'd go nicely for the palette that I'm going to be using. So this is the Profusion Pigment Base Eyeshadow Primer in white. And I'm hoping it's going to make all the shadows pop because it is white, and it's going to be great for pastels and things like that. And this primer was $3.99, so if it's a good one, especially for summer with the nice bright light colours, then we could be onto a winner. Am I now scared that I've got to put white on my eyes? Just a little bit. Let's see if this will blend out and be a little bit sheerer than, I mean, wow, that's, yeah, it's definitely white. That was not the easiest to blend out. It's looking a little bit patchy in areas. I've just taken a more fluffy brush just to blend out the very edges. We'll see how the shadows go on. It is a little bit tacky, which is good, but we'll see, we'll see. Okay, this is the thing I was the most excited for in this video, and I do have the Profusion Cosmetics and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 24 shade palette, and it's got some sort of like slimy ooziness going on, and if you turn the palette around you can sort of see the slime moving with it. Love that touch, think it's fantastic. Don't know if I've tried Profusion eyeshadow before, I can't remember if I have. The first thing to note is it does have a name sheet, which if you know me, you know I'm not a big fan. I just think they're redundant. Either don't include names or put them on the palette. They've probably done it because it's definitely a cheaper way of making the palette, because if they had to actually print the names on the palette as well as doing this collab and paying for the license for the Mutant Turtles, then, you know, it would make the palette more expensive. So I understand that, but just, I'm not a fan of a name sheet. So I got this palette for $15.99 from the Profusion website, and I just fell in love with the colour story and the fact it was Mutant Ninja Turtles. But look how delicious, like the greens in this as well. I'm feeling like, should I just go for my comfort zone, which is green and purple, because I definitely love a bit of green and purple. I think I'm gonna start out with this purple here because it's calling my name, and then I'm gonna go into some green, and then I have no idea what I'm doing on the lower lash line. We'll have to wait and see for that. I haven't actually swatched this palette as of yet, so I'm not 100% sure of how these are going to go on. And oh wow, okay, that is definitely pigmented. I didn't really know what to expect because Profusion are definitely more on the affordable side, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be bad quality, but you know, when you're trying any sort of new formula for the first time, you're kind of a bit like, I wonder. That purple tone though is absolutely delicious. Can I just say, the way that this is applying and then blending out just with itself on top of this base, huge fan right now. Huge fan right now. Oh, I could just do with a huge fan right now. I'm so hot. Now, I don't really have a lighter shade of purple that I would personally prefer to blend that out with, so I am going to use this shade here just a little bit because I don't really want it to overtake the look, but I do just want to blend on those edges a little bit, even though they're looking like really nice already. And just gently wiggle on the edge of that just to make it a little bit more blended. Okay, and I have just wrapped that round onto the lower lash line a little bit as well. Then I'm going to go into some of those greens because they look beautiful. I think I want this one in the inner corner because I do love a green inner corner. I don't know if it's going to be light enough, or we're going to see. We may be able to lighten up a little bit with this one if not, which is not exactly the tone that I wanted for the inner corner, but you know. So I think I'm going to go for this green first. Yes. And I'm just going to start to press that on here. Green blending straight into a purple is not usually the best idea, but we could always sandwich a blue between, which would bridge the gap and make them friendly. Don't you love green and purple next to each other? Like, I don't care if I'm Barney the dinosaur. It is stunning. So I'm going to put that lighter green shade that I showed you in the inner corner and hope it shows up. Please show up, please show up. I think I could have used a little bit more of the white base just over that inner corner just to make it pop that little bit more. I mean, it's there. Is it as pigmented and bright as I was hoping? Not really. And I might use a little bit of that light green shade just to tickle on the edges of that deeper green that we used, just to make that a little bit softer. Then I'm just going to dip into a tiny bit of this blue just to pop between where the green and the purple meet, just to make sure they are a little bit happier to be blended together. And I think I'm going to continue those greens on the lower lash line just because I'm loving how this green and purple situation is looking. Now the shimmer options in this aren't the biggest, but that's okay because I do prefer a matte heavy palette, and we do have, it looks like, is that a shimmer? That looks like more of a standard shimmer. And then we look like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 foily shades. I don't typically go for silver, and two of them, this one and this one, are leaning very much silver. Would it be nice if one of them was green? There's a blue. But like I say, I don't really like to go in with the silver if I don't have to. Oh, that's more of a satin, the one that I said was more traditional. That is beautiful, but maybe we should use one of the pots. Should we use the green pot that's called Ooze? I feel like, I'm showing you it and it's just got a lid on. I feel like that would be the best option. Could this go horribly wrong and just crease all over? Holy macaroni. Hello. I love the way I'm just like putting this on. I haven't cut the crease. I'm kind of cutting the crease with it. I don't know if I've put too much on. I'm going to try and blend it out. I'm trying not to look up just so that it can dry without me transferring it everywhere. I think I've realised less is more, and I went in with more. That's kind of the state of things right now, so it is kind of breaking up a little bit on my lid, if you can see that. This is the eye that I definitely put too much on. And this is the eye that doesn't have as much, but still is breaking up a little bit. And I'm not sure if it's the heat in this room, my creasy eyelids, or the formula is just wrong for putting it on the lid. But I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then we could add a little bit of the purple Ooze to blend in a little bit better. That's the plan. So I have just stuck on some Plouise lashes. These were from the Whisky Workshop collection. I think that was part of the advent calendar, so they were limited edition. But I just wanted some big dramatic lashes because that just makes me happy, and after the whole BB cream incident I just feel like I need some happiness. So then the only thing we've got left is lips, and I did pick up a new lip liner. This one is from Half Magic. I don't think I've ordered anything from Half Magic before. I think this is the first thing, and I like the look of this lip liner because it is a 2-in-1, and one of the shades is orange and one is red. Is that going to match the actual lip colours that I bought for today to try? No, it's really not, because the two lip options I have is the NYX Fat Oil Slick Click, and this is in, what shade are you? Going Viral. And then I have the e.l.f. Sun Boss Gloss Broad Spectrum SPF 25 in the shade Peachy Queen. I mean, they're very similar, aren't they? Do you know what? I'm going to save that for another video because I don't want to ruin a look that I've created that I actually really like how it's come together now. So I'll go in with a nude lip liner, and then, which one? So I did just use my MUA lip liner in the shade Sincere, and I feel like maybe we should try the e.l.f. gloss just because I'm intrigued that it's got an SPF in it and, you know, health benefits and all that. That is a nice shade, a very nice shade. It does smell a little bit sun creamy, and it is definitely a little bit peachy toned. It's more of a peachy brown. Don't really know how it's going with the eyes, but it feels nice on. Yeah, it feels more of a lip oil rather than a sticky, horrible gloss. I like it. I'm feeling like, would that match better though? Only one way to find out, Kerry. Let's give it a go. I mean, these clicky ones do kind of annoy me because you have to keep clicking them, and if you're in public, like, that's not ideal, but... Oh. Yeah, that one's definitely a little bit more pinky rather than peachy. I think it matches quite nicely. I'm a fan of both of those, to be honest. This also feels really comfortable. Obviously, it's not a gloss like the other one, but it doesn't have the SPF in it. Does that really make a difference with the amount that's in the gloss? I don't know. So we need a check on the eyes to see if we are creasing with the goo. How is the goo looking? The goo isn't creasing as bad as some shimmers that I put in my crease. I mean, it's not looking perfect, but you wouldn't know unless you was literally me with a mirror like this up super close. Like, there is a little bit of breakup, so I'm not sure how long it would last, like maybe not a full day, but that's actually, when I relax my eyes, you can't tell. And it is not that bad. It's not hugely noticeable, and I think that that green is just, it stands out beautifully. So this is the look, guys. Please do let me know what you think. I didn't know if I was going to be able to rescue it, especially after that bronzer incident. Where is the bronzer? It's actually ran away because it is so upset with its performance. Where? Here it is. Yeah, super pigmented. So I think even if you bought a shade that was your own shade, go in very light-handed. Obviously mine isn't the right shade anyway, but I mean, it's still looking quite intense, that bronzer, which is a shame because I do prefer a more buildable formula. I love the packaging of this and it smells beautiful. I don't want to talk about this ever again. This is never going to be tested again. It was that bad. Like, I don't even care if it was the primer's fault at this point. It was that bad on my skin. It's just no. It's a big fat no from me, and the coverage was minimal. It was pilling. It was sticking to dry patches but not clinging to the other area. I'm not a fan. The concealer actually is really, really nice, and I didn't know if it was going to be after putting it on, and the feeling that it was a bit more of a thicker consistency because I prefer more lightweight, thinner consistency for my under eye, especially the older I get, but this is actually really nice, and I've powdered it and it looks just as good as my favourite concealers. Yes, it's in the wrong shade and it's a little bit too dark and yellow for me, but if I got this in the right shade, I think this could be a favourite. The little pots, I think they're a great idea. It says they're multi-use, and I think they definitely are. You could definitely pop it on top of a lip liner or a lipstick and it'd be a little bit sparkly and shimmery, and you could build it up depending on how intense you want it. I think it is a bit of a nice jelly type formula, a bit similar to the one that Colourpop has got. However, when I was using the orange one for blush, there wasn't really a lot of pigment there. Maybe it was just how I was using it, but yeah, if it's multi-use, I mean, there needs to be some pigment, you know, but it did look nice. It could be nice as a blush topper. I didn't end up doing that in the end, did I? But yeah, I did use a little bit of the purple goo just to marry up the purple matte and the green, I was going to say shimmer, it's not a shimmer, it's green goo. And that was really nice as well, and that's got a bit of a bluey, ultraviolet-y tint to it. So I think the pots are really nice, especially for the price that you're getting them at for all three. I don't think that is a bad deal. But if you are planning to put them fully in your crease, just be aware they're probably not going to last all day. It's quite an emollient formula, but it looks stunning. I'm definitely not mad that I've got those. The highlighter, oh, the highlighter. I'm a fan of this. I like a blinding highlight though, from time to time, not every single day, but when you're reaching for a blinding highlight, I mean, some of these ones can be quite expensive when you're wanting a different shade other than like champagne or pink. So I think for $9.99 with the intensity this is and the reflex in it, I'm not mad that I've got that, and I could potentially pick up other different shades. Like I say, it was from Amazon. All of this should be linked down below in the description box, but I really like that. It's definitely intense. Obviously, I didn't try the lip liner, but I definitely will in an upcoming video because I love an orange or red lip. So that is going to come in super, super handy, especially with having the both in one. And I'm excited to try a new brand. Like I say, not tried Half Magic before. This lip oil, the fat lip oil stick click thing from NYX, really nice and comfortable. I really like the colour. For the first time ever, my battery actually just died, and I don't think it's because it ran out of charge. I think it was because this room is too hot. It's amazing that I'm not melting right now, so I don't actually know where I finished off. Hopefully it's cut off where the battery died and not like 5 minutes before, because that would be a nightmare. I think the only two things that I had left to mention was the e.l.f. gloss, and although it does smell a bit, you know, it's not a nice smell. It's not an offensive smell, it's a smell. It's a little bit on the sun creamy side, but it has got an SPF in it. I think that's really nice. It's not a horrible, thick, sticky gloss. It does feel comfortable, and I like the colour, and there is a nice variety of colours in those. The eyeshadow palette, I didn't really know what to expect because it is obviously on the more affordable side. It is, especially for a collab palette, because, you know, collab palettes are usually more expensive when they have to pay for licenses. I absolutely love the packaging. I think they smashed it with this packaging. It is something a little bit different. I like the colours chosen. I feel like it does represent the turtles, and when I can actually get into it, like, but there's me saying I like the packaging. Yeah, it looks nice, but it's not the easiest to open, especially if you've got false nails on or something. Just beware of that. Love the colour story. I don't know if I hadn't have used the white pigmented base. Where is that? If I hadn't have used this and the fact that it was white, I don't know if the shades would have been as popping as they actually are showing up now. So just bear that in mind. If you do get this palette and you need it to be a little bit more vibrant, maybe get a white base underneath. I mean, I think the base is okay. The eyeshadow's definitely blended on top of it. I'm going to have to try it out a little bit more though. But yeah, I really like this colour story. Obviously it pulled me in because of the greens and definitely the purples and this, you know, bright little pops of orange and things. It's just makes my little colourful heart happy. But I'm definitely not disappointed with the formula. I do wish there was some more shimmer options in here. It would have been nice to have tried those and not just two silvers, But all in all, I think for the price, like how much was this? $15.99, I don't think that that is bad at all. Like I really enjoyed blending those purples on the outer corner. I wish this shade had been a little bit more pigmented, but I think those purples, I mean, purples are apparently hard to formulate, and the way that those purples performed on my outer corner, I don't think that's bad at all. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Some of it was a bit of a car crash, some things didn't work, some things did. Please do let me know down below what you love, what you're planning to pick up, what you were shocked about, anything that you dislike. And now I need to go and get a I've learned on TikTok how to make myself like a Starbucks iced caramel latte at home. So I'm gonna go and make myself one of those and cool down because like I say, my battery even died because it's too hot in this room. Thank you so much for joining me for this video though, guys. I will link down below my socials as well as my YouTube membership and my Patreon group, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye.